Good morning to you, my friends, wherever you may be in the world today. Alan Clements, Los Angeles, California, the United States of authoritarianism. Today is the 15th talk in this new series based on my just released provocative book, Extinction X-Rated. I hope you'll have the courage to both read it and keep reading it, and just be mindful of your responses throughout. Welcome today. Today's talk it's hard to get out, actually. No obstacles. I mean, that is, what an ideal that is, no obstacles. I learned it from Mahasi Sayadaw and Sayadaw U Pandita and Sayadaw U Janaka and a few other of the leading Mahanayaka Sayadaws in Burma. Primarily as a deep Dhammic determination and courage to just do everything humanly possible to confront the madness, the unspeakable, the incidental, the boring, the epic evil, of course, as what's going down in Burma today. I'll talk more about that throughout the day, throughout the talk. No obstacle as attitude, Dhamma attitude, sort of the not invincible, but I am committed to the principles and the values and the qualities of consciousness that define my identity, more so than wealth and status and looks and shame and worry and doubt and belongings and achievements, all of those things which are very human. But the fiber of my soul is rooted in this, what I would call, as I've learned, the word parami, which has become an operative power, if you will, a spiritual Dhamma power to feel into, guide, take refuge in, just to believe in and nurture as the priority of my breath. Parami, P-A-R-A-M-I. I think one of the most beautiful concepts known on earth, at least for me. And it came to me in different stages throughout my spiritual life, but primarily brought to me by my late teacher, Sayadaw U Pandita, before he passed away. And he talked about these qualities of consciousness, these excellences. And it's easy to overlook them, but to imbibe in them and to feel them and to be moved by them, to nurture them, is for me the raison d'etre of my life. And it allows me to live into the radiance of a no obstacle, no regret lifestyle. Come what may, no regret. Yes, it could have been done differently, but no regret. And I must do what I must do. I don't know whether you live by that, whether you feel into that, whether you have conviction to live throughout that as a theme, as a direction of who you are, why you make decisions at the crossroads of every moment of our lives. I must do what I must do, and to carefully consider, obviously, at that crossroad at every moment, every hour, every day, every word, every conversation, every thought, every breath. Really, when you're mindful, you have these incessant crossroads, obviously called choice, at the moments of our lives. No obstacles there, no roadblocks, no regrets. I must do what I must do. Thank you for today. Thank you for being a part of this sharing. I'm thinking, I guess what I'm saying is I'm thinking of the Buddha a lot lately. The teachings that I have understood to be attributed to the Buddha, a gentleman, a man that was said to have lived in India some years back, and spoke and lived and related through, as I gather, through teachers and my own practice, the deliberate engagement with qualities of heart and mind that lead to the betterment of self and other, Dhamma. And then explored those basic considerations in highly pixelated, deep, resonant engagement, if you will, practices, trainings, ways of embodying, living, breathing, whatever the analogies are to compare the immediacy, the non-postponement of these paramis, this Dhamma. Paramis are Dhammas, lawful states of being that when engaged with have specific results, both in the short term, in the immediate term, and in the long term. And these teachings, especially these last year, and more so the last few days, I don't know about you, but they've taken on higher radiance. I think it's been catalyzed by a number of different factors, not neglecting the incredible ongoing courage of the people of Burma in confronting this epic evil by an out-of-control former armed forces, a terrorist group that I've named by the acronym MASAC, Ming Online, the former general now, a satanic evil terrorist. No insult, his behavior is the insult. And his previous armed forces by the acronym, the State Administration Council, MASAC, the Taliban, the Khmer Rouge, the Boko Haram of Myanmar today, and the good people of Burma. If you haven't been watching, tune in, participate, throw your high three fingers in support of these brave women and men. It's mind-boggling to resonate up the wave of courage and wisdom. They are fighting the good fight for democracy, the good fight for the preservation of dignity, freedom of mind, freedom of speech, the freedom to dream, just to use that word, the safety to create, to elevate the status of your own poetic, Dhammic dream. I mean, it was one thing to meditate with the idea of knowing that you could get ill by dengue fever mosquitoes or malaria mosquitoes or contaminated water. But to think that bullets and swords and torture and persecution and surveillance and rape and assassination were things that you would have to contend with as a nun or a monk in a monastery every minute, every hour, every sitting. Wow, no obstacle, no regret. Come on, Alan, drop from the ideal, drop into the humanness, right? You're with me, I'm with you. Drop in, no regret, really, I have to do what I have to do. I'm thinking of the Buddha. Thinking of the Buddha as I understand these words on a page and teachers who've allowed me to participate in dialogues about the meaning that they've attributed to these words on pages brought forth through the radiance of their own Dhamma practice. Practice is so kind of flat, dimensional, but breathing, living, engagement, the oxygenation, if you will, of one's entirety. Dhamma practice. How deeply do you believe in Dhamma and Parami as the priority of presence? Isn't that really what we want to achieve in our quest for excellence? Why do athletes become so renowned? They practice, they engage, they oxygenate the training. Some do it naturally, but yet there's a repetitive determination to do it well and over again, and refine and nuance. And others are more driven by determination. They don't have natural talent, but they stay with it, stick to it, right? We're a combination of both. That's at least who I am. but you believe in your craft, you believe in your music, you believe in your sport, you believe in your vocation, you believe in your hands, your eyes, your nose, your body, your tongue, your mind, your thoughts. No obstacle, no regret. I must do what I have to do, Mom. Dad, I must go forth. You look back at your life in those incessant crossroads of decisions, some good ones, some bad ones, some that you really, really, really should have regretted, but you've learned and you did it again and again, and the toxicity of a shame-based dysfunctional chemistry led you down the cul-de-sac of yet another abusive relationship that you colluded with. How many times we've heard that in therapy and plant medicine recovery and just the existential prayer, never again, but I must do what I must do. So, crossroad dharma, choice-making, wise choice-making. The intelligence of parami is wise choice-making. Stay, Alan, in the fidelity of these 10 constituents of liberation, and you will achieve their natural result. What are these 10? Generosity, ethical intelligence or morality, renunciation, the willingness to walk, release, give up without it being a lack of power. 4, wisdom. Boy, could we ever talk about wisdom, or who has the courage to talk about wisdom versus knowledge? I mean, true wisdom is so rare, isn't it? Who talks through the filter of, unmitigated, hands-on engagement? This is what I know from my experience. It's my experience. It may not be truthful to a larger spectrum. It's my knowledge. But what is wisdom in it? What is a wisdom that you wish to impart, leave behind, put into a bottle, a metaphorical bottle that releases into the infinity of the genome of entirety, so that boys and girls and insects and birds and trans deities and Deva and Brahma realms can hear and feel this timeless Dhamma, the most precious word I've ever learned on the planet. Dhamma. Infused with the choice-making of parami. Thanks for hanging. The 5th parami, energy, effort. Been feeling, progressively fatigued for some time now. Not uncommon, right? That mild depression from, oh my God, the weaponization of the pandemic and this vaccine and vaccine passports and, oh my God, will I, can I, will it ever end? Who to believe? Trump is gone. Now we've got Biden and his idiocy programs. Oh my God, he's better than evil though. And all of a sudden Burma's erupting. And oh my God, it's natural to the samsara of life. Who am I to believe? Where's the wisdom in all of this? Energy. I've been feeling weak, fatigued, existential fatigue, giving yourself the space to just lay down in the comfort of your dream and know that you can die into the innate trust of your parami, as I was told by U Pandita. Every night you go to sleep, every nap you take rest, mindfully abide in the aditant of occupying the energy of your paramis. Know them as the raison d'etre, Alan, of your life. I was blessed to have a Kalyanamita, Mahasi Sayadaw, Sayadaw U Pandita, others. They really took me into their spirit. The paramis and the Dhamma was the gift. No obstacle. No regret. We must do what we must do and do it well, right? The choice at the crossroad of the moment. How well can I discern and feel and listen and touch and kiss and experiment and explore and have the courage to retract, to be emotional, to be fearless, to be patient. The 6th parami, Khanti. Wow. Khanti. Khanti. Mahasi Sayadaw told me, Kanti, the road to Nibbana, is paved with patience. Drink that wine today. Pray to that goddess tonight. Kanti. We all know patience, forbearance. We encounter things incessantly against our own desire, our hopes and dreams. We watch the news and listen, and we see and we feel, we emote, we cry, the encounters that the world, our family must deal with, right? At this very moment, if we were just to pause and empower Kanti, the ability of the mind, the parami, that says, I wish to stay in engagement with the phenomena of complexity and crisis. I refuse to give up. No obstacle. Patience. I don't have the wisdom to know what to do, but I have the patience to hang with it. Wow. I am so impatient. I want the answer. I want the answer. I want to empower the answer now, on my terms. But sometimes we don't have the cognitive, the spiritual bandwidth, the catalyst. We got to wait, right? We got to wait and feel, but without being impatient and waiting for, please show up, please show up. You know, the dating app of enlightenment, please, it's me. I want to be in the most enlightened state. Sorry, no takers today. You have to wait. Kanti. Number 7, is it? Truthfulness. Satya. So cool to meet people radically committed to truthfulness, not meanness, timing of what they say and think and feel and do, the tone, the choice of words and angles and space and nuance and the vibration of the poetry of a concept, the timing, the feel, the textures, the dimensionalities, the making love, no, a wall, a barrier. I have limits to my truth without the outcome of the attachment. Oh my God, can you really live without attachment? No. But to have the discernment at the crossroad of hope, I hope that they understand. I hope that the good people of Burma win this battle over evil. I wish the terrorist would understand that he is destined for the lower realms, to wake up, Sidhu said, to talk to the conscience of Ming online. Do not wait, do not wait, do not wait. Yeah, of course. Truthfulness, the power of truthfulness. Determination, loving kindness, and equanimity. So the 10 paramis, these 10 Dhamma organs that each have a characteristic, a manifestation, a proximate cause, a near enemy, and a function to interweave with each other in different degrees of complexity, and all of a sudden they become the notes, the rhythms of our rap, our spoken word, our poetry, our theater, our cadence, our Dhamma style. Dhamma style. No obstacle, no regret. I must do what I must do. Style, uniqueness. I can't follow the teachings of the Buddha identical to how I projected them. Fair enough? How easy it is to want to mimic, memorize and mimic. I've gotten it down perfectly. I've remembered exactly. Buddhang saranang gacchami. I'm a perfectly spiritually correct Buddhist. No, I'm a perfectly spiritually correct rap artist, Buddhist. No mimicry to these paramis. The humanization of deep vulnerability and uniqueness and the determination to be patient, to tell the truth, to feel the moral integrity, to be generous and wise and take it higher through determination and bring love in the absence of fear. And when you have doubt or you can't know what to do, upekkha. How many times I would hear that word in Pali? Upekkha, upekkha. They want to use the word balance, but it's anything but balance. It's like about 20, 30, 40 meters. No, I was told it's more like a mile or 2 or 3 deep into the ocean. There's waves, there's winds, there's currents, but upekkha, the middle of the ocean. You read this in the teachings of the Buddha in Tuvataka Sutta. The middle of the ocean Dhamma, this upekkha, contains all phenomena, all characteristics, all convulsions, and deep within the waves and the convulsions and the themes and the rhythms and the currents and the heat and the cold, there's this wow. In the absence of knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, stationary cool, balanced and tempered with patience, that's willing to stay at the front edge of that which is unknown with ethical, caring, self-loving, metta, self-loving willingness to feel. Isn't that the entire journey? We see things, we hear things, we taste things, but really on a sensation, a Dhamma sensation level, the nerve endings of the paramis have that crossroad of choice there where you, like Gloucester, the blind Gloucester talking to the King Lear, I know life feelingly. Paramis and Dhamma, it isn't just a sensation in the body. It's the intelligence of the intuitive, right? And the cognitively real. The authentication of a hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, Dhamma intuitive sensing. The sixth sense obviously is mind or consciousness, but the refinement, the parami of the mind, the wisdom filter within consciousness that hears and sees the truth of something, yeah? Therein lies where the psychedelic metaphor and the molecule refine the radiance and the granularity, if you will. How well do you hear? No obstacle. No regret. I must do what I must do. Okay, the second half. When I think of the most respectful aspects of my life, what I trust and respect most about my life, I could say they are attributed to everyone in every way that I can remember and feel. And what I didn't remember and feel, the experience in the subconscious, everything. But within that, the fidelity of the portraits that I will bring to my life, my remaining days, will be the feelings and the intelligence and the portraits and the moving images of Dhamma through Buddha Dhamma Sangha and Kalyanamitta, teachers who brought to fidelity the auditory vibration, the integrity of the etymology of these words. They didn't just say words they remembered. They shared the vibrational intelligence of that and offered practices and teachings and interactive engagements, 3 dimensions of training to embody Dhamma, embody parami, embody dana, sila, nekama, panya, virya, kanti, sacha, nekama, metta, upekkha, the 10 paramis. And so I go right back today in my honor of Buddha, the Buddha, both the awakening metaphorically meant as an experience within the word, and the man. You're a woman, I'm a man, you're a man, you're a woman. We leave legacies through our choices at the crossroads of life, to state the obvious. We'll be remembered by whoever remembers us. We'll leave a legacy, if legacies are even remembered on this planet, throughout the extinction, post-extinction. Where do we live, and where do these dhammas reside within the sediment belt of eternal cognitive infinity? How is it that we're able to imbue through memory, book, and text these teachings that we bring into cognitive fidelity? We live and emote and define our lives based on them. Where did they come from? A man, a Buddha. What about the Buddha before that? What about the earth before that? What about dimensions? Are there deities? Are there other dimensions? What are we in this memory bank? The thing I attribute my dignity to is Buddha. The word is defined my cellular raison d'etre. Magnetized by that, I would call it the quadruple flame, the flame of freedom, unlike any other flame, to release me from the bonds of primordial fear, greed, and delusion, a path you can follow by yourself. Holy shit. A life beyond four walls, a rent, a home, and intimacy, and family, and books, and career, and pain and pleasure, and loss and gain, and fame and shame, all those movie theatrical things that we attribute to normal life. And those two, no obstacle, no regret. You must do what you must do. I followed the teachings of the Buddha. And I'm thinking as I come to the end today, I read into these suttas, I read into these discourses. I know very little about the authenticity of the language. I don't know really the ultimate details of commentarial literature. It's all very poetic to me, all very personal. I don't want to follow some page or ink or book or sound. I just want to be true to the resonant truth of what frees me from fear, greed, and delusion. And so my Buddha is a very personal Buddha. And I'm thinking today, very quite spontaneously, of how he left his home, as we all have left, to go on the mythic journey. And after 6 years of ardent practice in India with his fellow renunciates, he came to the I must do what I must do moment and realized intuitively, as I understand it, that what he had been doing had results, but they weren't the results that he wanted. He wanted, which was really an amazing declaration, right? What a declaration. I want to know the freedom beyond fear, beyond greed, beyond delusion, unequivocally, inexorably. I want to know under every circumstance, every encounter at the crossroads of my life, there is the absolute absence of possibility. The absolute absence of possibility. I just love to say that. The absolute absence of possibility to be gripped in any way, deep, medium, or tiny, by fear, or greed, or delusion. The absolute absence of release into the unconditioned state of interbeing, to use a Thich Nhat Hanh phrase, of freedom. He called it Nibbana. The fire of fear and greed and delusion has gone out. I've removed the conditions from my Namarupa, my mind and body. No obstacle, no regrets. I had to do what I had to do. And he left his friends. Rad, man, really rad behavior. Unknown. 29 years old, northern India.